a realtor group, we have code of ethics that we follow. As a licensed person, we follow the real estate commission rules, we follow the state rules, we follow the federal rules. Fair housing means you cannot discriminate anybody due to race, sex, religion, color, whatever their orientation is.
New law with the rentals, right?
Yes, very
that
good
some towns need an inspection. So you want to make sure that you find what your ordinance is in your township, know what you need to do, call the departments before you rent something out.
By law, you must present every offer to the seller. Just because you said best and final, you have zero authority as an agent to not present that offer to the seller.
Welcome to Real Estate On Track on ITV Gold, airing every Friday at 8 p.m. with a Sunday repeat at 8 p.m. And trust the seasoned expertise of On Track Realty, a name we have relied on since 1994. For real estate questions, reach out to them at 732-494-2211. And now let's welcome the dynamic brother-sister duo, that is Sanjeev Aneja ji, the lead broker and president of On Track Realty, and Alka Aneja, an award-winning salesperson with over 30 plus years of experience. Welcome once again. How are you guys today?
We are great. How are you?
I am doing wonderful, and happy Diwali to both of you.
Happy
Yes,
Diwali
happy
and
Diwali
happy
to
Thanksgiving is coming. So it's a festive season.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it is. So, Sanjeev ji and Alka, we have been talking about rentals and sales in residential commercial. Can we also, are there any laws which a realtor must follow?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are licensed. Every agent is licensed. There's a difference. I think we talked about it a long time ago. Every licensed person is an agent, and then you're part of a realtor group. So as a realtor group, we have code of ethics that we follow. As a licensed person, we follow the real estate commission rules, we follow the state rules, we follow the federal rules. So there are many, many rules that dictate how we operate, or any agent, whether they are realtor or not, operates. So fair housing is a major rule. Fair housing means you cannot discriminate anybody due to race, sex, religion, color, whatever their orientation is. If they can afford, if they have the green, we must sell the home. There are times when people will say, we don't want XYZ in my neighborhood. And I think we talked about this at one point too, right? So there are times when people will say, I don't want XYZ next to me. Or when I sell my home, I don't want them to buy my home. A, you cannot discriminate as a seller. B, your agent absolutely cannot discriminate as a seller. So it's very critical, very important to remember the liability, the damages, the judge, once they find out that we discriminated.
Yeah, are limitless.
They're limitless. So as an agent or as a seller. So when we tell our clients, don't do that, it's not just for our protection, it's more for your protection too. Because we are there to save you. We are there as your eyes and ears in there. Now, many times state laws are stricter than federal laws. So you have to, in whatever state you are, you have to follow those state laws also. Federal law may say minimum salary is $7.25 an hour, but New Jersey law says it's $14 an hour. So yes, in New Jersey, you cannot give less than $14 an hour. Similarly, every law that is part of New Jersey drives us, and these laws come through Real Estate Commission. So Real Estate Commission has a set of rules for us, for every agent to follow. And those set of rules are, there is no gray area in there. Sadly, many people break those rules, which shouldn't be broken.
So, but for a consumer, right? How will they know what rules they should follow? Because the consumer, they're coming to us as laymen, right? They're coming to us saying, we want to do this. How do they know the difference between a good realtor or not a good realtor, right? How do they distinguish where they can be in trouble?
Right. So that's the challenge. The consumer doesn't know. And when they work with the wrong agent, that agent can jeopardize them.
Yeah.
So there are things that cannot be done in our business. One of the things is Section 8. Section 8 applies to rentals. tenants who are approved for Section 8, whether it's due to handicap, whether it's due to income, whatever that reason is, state or county or the town is saying, we will pay this rent. You cannot discriminate. A lot of people will say, I don't want Section 8 tenants because of XYZ reasons. You cannot discriminate, period. That's the law. So there's no way your agent should tell you that it's okay, I'll find the ways to do it. There's no way you should be doing it. The money is coming as guaranteed from the wherever that authority is. Now, there are exceptions. Let's say Section 8 voucher was only $2,000. You're looking for a rental that is $2,500. And your credit is horrible. And you don't make enough income. Then, yes, you can refuse it. But if the state is giving all the money, it's $2,500 rent and state has approved you for $2,500, including utilities, you have zero grounds to say no to that tenant. Every agent better understand that rule, that you cannot be part of that discrimination. The lawsuit is big. Your license is online. So don't let any agent let you be in jeopardy as a landlord, because lawsuits happen by tenants against the landlord
All the time.
for that reason, that you in fact, not too long ago, we had a landlord who was doing it on his own and told the tenant, I don't take Section 8. And she immediately reminded him, what do you mean by you don't take Section 8? So these things happen. So when you're renting on your own, see, sometimes you don't have an agent and it's okay because the market is so strong. But know that there are rules to follow.
Exactly.
The rules apply to you as a landlord, whether you have an agent or don't have an agent. So agents are there to guide. But if unfortunately the wrong agent is hired and he or she misguides you or doesn't make you understand this whole thing, now agent is in jeopardy for the license. Landlord is in jeopardy, and lawsuits are all over because landlord is now suing the agent too because you didn't tell me about it.
Yeah.
Talking about it, there's a lead paint disclosure law.
That's
So
right.
if the home is built before 1978,
That's right.
you have to disclose, or you have to tell whether you know of any lead paint in the home, or if you have any reports about lead paint in the home. So that is requirement in a rental. So if you're renting a home that is built before 78, make sure you put that disclosure with there. Now, all you're saying is, I don't know, or you're saying, I know, depending upon which one is true.
And some towns even need an inspection now. There's a new law with the rentals, right?
Yes, very
that
good
some towns need an inspection. So you want to make sure that you find what your ordinance is in your township, know what you need to do, call the departments before you rent something out before 1978, because that's important.
Right. So excellent reminder. State law has now says that homes built before 1978 must be inspected for lead
Yes.
paint. If there is a lot of chipping going on, then it has to be tested. If it looks, the walls look okay and all, then the town inspector or whoever whatever the town dictates, they can come and say, yeah, based on this, it looks safe to me, I'm okay with it. So every town has a different rule for it.
So do the state laws like change every year or no?
State laws change all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
All the time?
State laws change all the time. The assembly will get together and say, okay, this happened. There was a fire in one home. Now we are going to require smoke detector in every home. So right now they're talking about that. Smoke detectors are required on each level the bedroom is on. But if you go to new homes, smoke detector is required in every bedroom.
Right.
Carbon monoxide detector is required in every
Wherever there's a bedroom.
wherever there's a bedroom. Smoke detector is actually required in every level, regardless of a bedroom. So let me correct myself. Carbon monoxide detector is required wherever there is a bedroom on that level. So if you have a bedroom on first level, second level, you need a carbon monoxide on both
Yeah.
levels.
So to answer your question, yes, the laws can change, and it's you can't say, oh, I didn't know. Ignorance is not bliss, sadly, right? When you get into a lawsuit, so it's better that you know, and especially in the state of New Jersey, because we are in New Jersey, it is much more a tenant-friendly state than a landlord state. So sadly, the burden is on the landlord. So make sure that you are covered as a landlord and not putting yourself in harm's way by renting.
Right. And Google is a great friend of ours today. So if you are about to rent and you don't have an agent, you don't want to use an agent for whatever reason, it's okay. make sure you've Googled and understand the rules. And also, if you have an agent,
But do you think always Google has the right information?
Google normally has
Not
the right
always.
information. Normally, if you see 3 different answers in Google, then you know that there is a problem with one of the answers. So very good question. Yeah, that is. Should you rely on one comment on Google? And the answer is no.
Right.
Maybe you will read 3. If they are all consistent, it's right.
Yeah.
So you want to know what the Real Estate Commission rules are for the agents. You hired an agent, and the agent is horrible, and you want to know what your authority is, what your goals are, what your powers are for that agent, what to do and what not to. Go to Google and say Real Estate Commission rules, and all of them will come and spell out. And then you tell the agent, hey, you're not doing it right. We talked about offers being presented to the seller by the agent till the day of the closing. There are so many agents who are doing this wrong.
Wow.
They will say best and final is due by, let's say, tomorrow. Best and final means you give me your best and final offer for the seller. An agent 2 days later says, I want to present a offer in writing, and another agent, and this seller's agent says, I'm not going to present to the seller. You are playing against the law.
Wow.
By law, you must present every offer to the seller. Just because you said best and final, you have zero authority as an agent to not present that offer to the seller. Every offer must be presented to the seller till the time of the closing. So one may say, well, but we are already under contract. Why present? Well, there's a reason for it, and we can go and call us, and we'll be happy to tell you more why that reason is.
So I'm just wondering, how often does an agent need to update himself with all these laws and everything?
That's a great question. We all have continuing education that we have to be part of. Every 2 years, you have to take a certain amount of credits, and we all have to do it. And that never used to be a requirement for realtors, but now it is, thankfully. So we all do that. And we have in our office weekly meetings, monthly meetings, but if there's
Even
any
you have
update-
the professional development day
Yes,
too.
yes, yeah. We do it all the time. If there's something that he learns, we get a video. So we're constantly kept abreast of what's going on. But it's important
Right.
that you
So-
are taking care of that.
Continuing education, unfortunately, is a joke. It's only 12 hours of continuing education every 2 years. 12 hours, you go to the class in the seminar, and you sit there on your phone, and 3 hours later, you're all set. Your continuing education is done. So it's a joke. It's never about continuing education. It's about educating yourself every single day.
That's
See,
like how it is in college too. Some people go in and get on their phone
I
and stay.
understand, but a lot of
No,
times
that's
we
true.
think continuing education is done, so we must be professionals. Just because they have to do that to maintain their law, maintain their license, does not guarantee the agent is as professional as they should be. Every day learning, every day growing, every day becoming a little better than yesterday. That's critical for good agents. So
I
there
think
are-
that's critical in everyday life.
In everyday life
every
too.
field,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad you said that. In every profession, if you're not growing, you're dying.
You're right.
You learn from nature. If the tree is not growing, the tree is dying. It's always that case. Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean that, and
so again, rules, regulations, there are tons of it. If you ever have a question and you're stuck with someplace, let us know. When you sign a listing, there is the agent must tell you when the listing starts, when it ends. The listing must be in the computer within 24 hours in the MLS, depending upon the MLS rules, but most are. So rules are so many. Just know, I always say, always reserve the right to fire your agent if you're not happy with the agent.
that's super
Always.
important.
Unconditionally.
Yes.
I just saw a listing the other day. Somebody withdrew the listing, and the agent has them tied up till end of December, which means that seller now cannot do anything. They withdrew the listing, and now it's tied for end of the year.
Wow.
Absolutely wrong. Why should the seller be tied? They don't trust us, like us, whatever the reason being, or their needs have changed. You have to trust the client. And you have to be able to say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we understand, and we are parting our ways happily. You can do whatever you want to. Why? The world is, abundance is there. Why do we become so petty? I never understand.
But I think that's a great question. When you're, as a consumer, when you're signing a contract, somewhere in the contract you should say that this contract is revocable at any time, because you shouldn't
Unconditionally.
unconditionally, yes, because it's important. or to make sure that you are not tied in for anything.
Right.
And
Now
that's something that should be specific.
Right, but let's make sure we understand. We are talking about listing agreement. Once it becomes a contract between a buyer and seller, that's not revocable.
Yeah, that's not.
That will go with the terms of the contract.
Yes.
Right.
So we want to make sure you don't start writing in a contract, this
Yes.
is revocable,
Yes,
because that contract is not revocable.
That's
That-
also
Right.
mandated by attorney,
yeah,
so that's
the
okay.
terms of the contract.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So that's about it. Any questions, give us a call. We're happy to help you.
absolutely. And there's so many questions because, again, a real estate transaction is not two things. It's not a constant information. It's variable because you're dealing with personalities, you're dealing with humans. There's a lot of stiffness in the contract, but there's a lot of flexibility also. So feel free to give us a call and we'll be happy to guide you through your transaction if you're not working with us.
And yes, you definitely can call them at 732-494-2211 is their number. And see,
Yeah, we don't say it because we know it's scrolling. So
I know.
we don't want to be saying that also.
I know. Sanjeev ji, I just saw your post about Diwali fireworks defending the community. Perhaps you can share some thoughts about that.
Oh, that was an interesting post.
So we have a Facebook group. It's called Edison Residence, but it happens in many other groups too, I'm sure. People have been complaining left and right that why are we celebrating Diwali with firecrackers again and again and again. Diwali was now, but we celebrated 10 days ago. Diwali is over. We are still doing firecrackers. And why are we doing that? So I think some people are genuine complainers. They don't want fireworks at all. They think if it was done once, it should be over. They don't understand that different people are enjoying on different days at different times. But for our community, so I defended that. I said, listen, we are doing it, but there is a defense in there, and that are actually on their side, our community should understand there is a time. You should follow the rules and laws and time. In Edison, the rule says don't do it after 10 o'clock, the noise ordinance.
So they were doing it after 10
Or
o'clock?
11, 12. Now, I was at Oak Tree Road. At 8:30 one day, I specifically went there to see fireworks.
It was beautiful.
I mean, it's amazing how much money is spent
On
on Oak Tree Road on fireworks. People were coming actually in their cars with the kids with the fireworks, and in that specific area, one person's taking this side, one person taking, and they're doing the fireworks. But I didn't take fireworks. I was simply enjoying the fireworks. But they're right. At 12 o'clock in the night, why do we need fireworks at 12 o'clock? Remember, these people have kids to go to school. Next day, they have work to go to. And a lot of people, the complaint was our pets are petrified.
Even there are elderly people out
Even there are elderly
who try
people.
to sleep early
Right.
too.
Yeah.
So there are many reasons. Now again, my defense was, why should we stop fireworks? But in their defense, please, as a community, next year at least, do it right. Do it. Don't. There were fires at some places.
Yes.
Because
Buildings
we were
got
careless.
burnt.
So don't be careful. Only do the right fireworks that are allowed legally in New Jersey. Follow the time rule. Yes, we will do it for 10, 15 days and people will still complain, and let them complain. That's nothing you can do about. Because they will complain because they will complain. They will want no fireworks from us.
But my question to you is, why do it for 10 days? I understand it's Diwali. I would also love to see the firecrackers.
So I'll tell you why
everywhere.
we do it.
Why for 10 days?
My office Diwali party is a week before Diwali, and I want to do fireworks. Your Diwali party is a week after Diwali, and you want to do fireworks. 7 days before, 7 days after. How many days? 14 days. But in between, other people have other reasons. Somebody's birthday may be right next to Diwali and they're doing fireworks. Somebody, for other reason, may be doing fireworks.
There's a cricket.
Some-
There's a cricket game that's happening. If India wins, guaranteed there's fireworks. So that's how we
fireworks were not
celebrate.
just for Diwali. Fireworks were going to be there. People have to accept the fact that they're fireworks. And I said, listen, on 4th of July, we have fireworks. On New Year's, we have fireworks at midnight. So what's the problem? They are right. It's contained on one day. But fireworks were not legal for many years. Now they become legal, and that's why we are seeing them more. And nothing wrong with it. Be safe, follow the rules, do it in the time frame.
Exactly.
Don't do it after 9:30, 10. Why become bad? Why look bad as a community to a different community?
Especially this year, we had in Edison this big Diwali also.
Big Diwali Mela, and that's what they
Yes.
were saying. A lot of them that there were so many fireworks already. So do it right.
We are a community. Let's
Yeah.
behave like a community.
Right.
Become a considerate member.
And what happens? 90% of us will do it right. It's 5 or 7 or 10% people who are not agreeing to the rules, and it makes everybody look right. So just do it for the other people. These people have reasons to say you guys this and you guys that, and go back to India if you have to do it in India. That's all nonsense. Don't listen to all that. But if you do it right, then if they still speak, then let them say.
I think that's the right way. Just do within the time frame they
Yes.
have
Yeah.
allotted.
Follow the
Just do it. And
rules.
Yeah, follow the
That's-
laws, follow the rules, be caring. A lot of people were saying people didn't clean up after them. But then somebody made a very good point. If you clean up and you put everything in dumpster, there can be fires.
Yes.
So sometimes you leave that stuff outside to protect the fires. Nothing. So it was a very good point, but people will still complain. People were still putting pictures on Facebook of how much garbage was left on that night.
I think that's a little too much.
Right, but on the other hand, in defense, which I didn't realize at that point, if you clean it and put in dumpster, there's a fire. So there were some dumpster fires. Maybe some people were so
Oh,
good
because
they cleaned
this
it.
was still hot.
Still
and
hot,
just-
exactly.
Oh.
So maybe some people were good and they put it in dumpster and created fire. Now they're complaining about fire too. They're complaining about not cleaning and they're complaining about fire. So you cannot win
But
either
you
way.
can have you can have a bucket of water near you. Like there are things you can
No,
do.
you cannot. I'll tell you, you cannot go to Oaktree Road with fireworks with a bucket of water with you.
But bhaiya, or you go the next day and clean up. I mean, you have to be
So
responsible.
next day,
about
but they
what
were
you're
not
doing.
worried about next day. They were talking about that night. There were
Right.
pictures
No,
of that
I would
night.
say especially the weather has been cold. Maybe just leave it there for 2-3 hours. That will cool off automatically, and then just pick
It's
them
not
up
about,
and put.
it's not about cooling off. It's the chingaris in there. It's not cooling. It's not because it's hot or cold.
Oh.
It's because a little fire
Yes.
may be still because
Spark.
remember, yeah. So that spark may be in there,
Oh.
and that spark or that what this the chemical in there that burns, that may be all of a
Still
sudden
combustible.
little combustible, and some stuff is still left in every one of them. So all of a sudden it's there, and now all the paper in the dumpster is now it's a fire. So again, we're not experts. All we are saying is let's enjoy it. Let's not worry about what everybody says, but let's be following the rules and do
And
it
be a
right.
responsible citizen.
Yeah.
One quick question, before I say goodbye to both of you. Like, if there is a property on sale, and how can I call you instead of calling the agent that is there, whose number is written on that?
Sure, we're all part of the multiple listing system, so you don't need to call that agent. You can always give us a call, and we'll be happy to show it to you.
Right, but also another point, if you want to work with us,
Yes.
and if you call the other agent and see the home with them, then we
we
cannot,
cannot
get
help
involved.
you. Yes.
So always know, and true for anything, if you're working with an agent and you're loyal to that agent, don't go and see a home with the other agent, because then that agent that you're working with and loyal to is out of the picture. This other agent is involved. So if you want to work with us, On-Track Realty team, any one of us, call them, no matter whose listing it is. You see it at realtor.com, Zillow, Sign, wherever. Just call us and say, get me that information, and our team will be able to get you that.
100%.
Yeah, good question.
Thank you, and just time to say goodbye, and we'll be back next week, same day, same time.
Yep,
Absolutely.
Thanksgiving
Thank
week.
you.
We'll
Yeah.
see you next week.
Yeah.